What's one thing you never thought you'd love and now you love doing it? And on the flip side, what's one thing you thought you'd love but you'll never do again?
One thing I never thought I'd love. Vacuuming and sweeping. It's a very it's a chore, but there's something very meditative about it, at least for me. And I don't mind doing it anymore, and I actually enjoy it because it is meditative. And as a dad, you got young kids around, there's a lot of noise, you don't have a lot of time to yourself. I could be like, oh, I'm gonna go sweep, the patio, or I'm gonna
Right.
vacuum. And it's like a meditative thing that you can do that is also productive. And I hated doing chores when I was a kid, and now I don't mind it.
And then what's something you loved
Or
or
that you
thought you'd
thought
love?
you'd love that you're like,
Mhm.
nope.
um the first thing that came to mind was travel, like flying in particular. I feel like when I was a kid, like flying on a plane was kind of like a novelty and exciting, and you don't have to deal with any of the luggage really, and you don't have to deal with the
Right.
ticket counter or TSA or anything. You're just a kid. You're going on a trip, you're getting on a plane, you fly in the air, and then
Yeah.
you're somewhere else, and it's cool. Um, as an adult, for a while, I had like a pretty gnarly fear of flying. I think it was like tied to 9/11 in a lot of ways. Just seeing
That
that,
makes
I was like,
sense.
oh
Yeah, yeah.
shit. Um, but just like travel anxiety, trying to be on time and make your flight, and dealing with security lines, and dealing with passengers or people in the airport. It's just super stressful. And now that it's a part of my job, and it's really important that I'm on time to to make these flights and stuff so we can play
Right.
shows or start a tour or whatever. Um, it's super stressful. And then we fly with a ton of gear usually, and that's
Yeah.
always a nightmare. When we fly internationally, we have to deal with like a thing called a carnet, which is like a customs manifest. It's like a list of
Right.
all your gear and serial numbers and stuff. And the people that you deal with in customs are always difficult. It's a very like strict process, but nobody handles it the same.
Right.
And if they do it incorrectly, you can be liable for a bunch of fines and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of anxiety there, and I don't like it. I love playing shows, I love being on tour, but the travel part of it is not my favorite anymore.
Yeah, that spot where like you go from, okay, we toured in a bus or in a van or in something like that to like, okay, now we're doing flying and spot shows has got to
Mm-hmm.
be kind of like a it's I imagine that was its own kind of like moment of like, oh, this is different, but
Mm-hmm.
then I feel like now like in our current era, there's a lot more of that and a lot less of let's get on the bus and hit the road. There's a lot more of like, okay, we're gonna be here for this many days. We're gonna fly here, and then we've got a bus for these 3 days, and then we're gonna fly here, and then we've got this other thing. It's not so much like living on the road, so to speak, anymore. So it's
Yeah,
like it
we
seems
do
like there's just so much more of that flying.
we do a little bit of both, but look, we also, between tours and stuff like that, we try to do like festival shows or
Right.
whatever we get asked to do, little one-offs that require us to fly. And flying is always just a challenge,
Yeah.
especially internationally. It never goes smoothly.
I feel like things have gotten way easier for guitar players and bass players,
Oh yeah, because we
but
have
they're
modelers and
but they're never they're just there's nothing that's going to fix it for drummers.
yeah, it's true.
No, I've always
I
got
feel
like
bad.
the most stuff, and we fly with some audio gear as well for like front of house and monitors and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we got a lot of stuff, and we show up at the ticket counter with all this gear, and the person that's working's like, oh Jesus, I gotta check all this crap in, and it's all heavy.
All these rack cases and
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yep. And they're
What's
all
been
pissed
opened,
off. And
what
then,
hasn't been opened.
yeah. And then everybody in line is like, oh, these guys with 13 bags or whatever. I'm gonna miss my
Right.
flight. And it's just
You have
brutal.
the I'm sorry's the whole time.
Totally. Yep.
I'm sorry. I know. I know.
Sorry. Yeah.
So I do want. Have you ever traveled with your? I'm assuming you have. Have you ever done the plane thing with your kids?
Yeah.
Okay. What's worse, showing up at customs and being that guy with all your gear, or
Mhm.
having screaming kids and being that guy on the plane?
We had a few flights early on where our kids were the kids that were crying, and it was it's difficult. It shifts your perspective quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Because when you are not somebody who has kids and you're on a plane and there's a kid crying and you're like trying to sleep or watch a movie or just relax, it's annoying. And you're always like, what the are these parents doing? Like, why can't they get their kid to shut up? And
Right.
then you're
Control
a
your child.
parent. Yeah. And you're there with your kids and like you're trying absolutely every trick that you know in the book, and then trying like new trying to figure stuff out because you don't want your kids to be crying. And you know that it's bumming people out. And if you can't get it to stop, it's like the worst feeling. Like you were talking about saying sorry. It's like, what am I going to do? Walk up and down this plane and just be, I'm sorry. So that's difficult. Thankfully, my kids are at an age now where like they're good travelers. Like they're mellow. They might get a little antsy if it's a long flight, but like for the most part, they'll chill out, read books, watch something. They're stoked to be flying. They're excited to get wherever we're going. So they're good about that. But like, yeah, the perspective flip when we had kids and they were crying, it's pretty gnarly.